We're in a state that is in a pretty much perpetual state of drought. Groundwater is the most important resource for this community, for this county, and for this city. If you think back into the 50s, we didn't have the monitoring we have now. People didn't understand groundwater. They thought it was big pools under the ground like a lake. We didn't understand how damaging this could be.
It was actually a leak in an underground pipeline that caused the spill. We don't know, and we never will know how much fuel was released. A very large amount, several million gallons probably.
What used to happen is rail cars would come in full of fuel. They would get loaded up by these suction pipes to a distribution system and then stored in above ground tanks. The way the system was designed with that suction vacuum thing, it was designed to always have a little bit of fuel in there. No one knew that the vibration was wearing little holes in the pipe with rocks.
The most important thing is there is no exposure pathway right now of this fuel to humans.
Has it ever hit a city well field? No. Will it? No. Has it ever hit the VA well over by the VA hospital? No. Has it contaminated any wells on base? No. Will we let it? Absolutely not.
There is a lot of jet fuel and a lot of aviation fuel, and the petroleum hydrocarbons have been biodegrading very nicely, like they do everywhere in the world. But there was an additive to the aviation fuel called ethylene dibromide, which does not biodegrade very well. It apparently is a pretty potent carcinogen, but it's not like you take a drink of some contaminated water and develop cancer. The standard is based on protecting chronic exposure.
The reason why the Air Force is committed to this so much is that we are your neighbor, we drink the same drinking water, and we want to make sure that the city of Albuquerque knows that we're committed to cleaning up this contaminated site. We built a whole facility, state-of-the-art, over 4,000 square feet, and in it, it has massive treatment units and tanks and vessels and processes that mechanically work. And basically, we then brought in 2 more extraction wells, so we had a total of 3 extraction wells, pumping as much as 400 gallons per minute.
Those 3 wells are now producing a cone of depression that completely surrounds the leading edge of the contamination plume.
We don't want that plume to move forward anymore, right? We don't want it to get any closer to the municipal wells. So we have to pump a lot of water to be able to stop that plume's forward movement and start to bring it back towards the base.
There are 2 ways that we deal with the treated water for discharge. One goes to the Kirtland Golf Course for irrigation purposes, and the second goes to regional recharge to the aquifer. And so what was being pumped up and treated was then being returned back to the aquifer.
And right now, the results of the pumping so far has been better than we expected.
The quality of the treated water is fantastic. It's non-detect for any fuel constituent.
This is the huge milestone in the project, in the cleanup. And it's going to reverse the flow. It's going to capture all this EDB and prevent it from ever migrating another inch towards those drinking water wells.
But we've done a lot of cleanup in the source area too. We've taken out like about 5,000 tons of soil. We've done soil vapor extraction for 12 years and removed like 700,000 gallons of fuel. We have removed a lot of stuff, and we know based on our absolutely huge sampling network, we have 248 soil vapor monitoring points. We have 134 monitoring wells. We have a series of sentinel wells between our plume and all drinking water wells that are like an early warning system. So if the plume did do something, we would catch it before it ever contaminated the well. We have multiple layers of protection in place, we call it Wellhead Protection Program, to ensure that the drinking water of this community is safe and remains that way.
Then we still have the fuel, the actual oil, right in the immediate area where the leak was. That may take a bit longer because it's deep. And we also have oil down there that's been smeared by a rising water table. So we're gearing up moving from laboratory microcosm tests to a field scale pilot test to see if we can stimulate the native bacteria in the groundwater that occur naturally to do a better job of biodegrading the fuel, including the EDB. Partnership has been the key to the success of this. Had it not been for the Air Force bringing in their A-team and their technical experts, we wouldn't be here telling you that we've got this plume contained today.
I've never seen such intellectual firepower so effectively brought to solution making. Usually when you get that many nerds together with doctorates and everything, you don't get practical solutions out of it. We're getting that here, which is awesome.
You know, the Air Force Civil Engineering Center came in 2 years ago. We partnered with those experts. They have some world-class experts in the field of geology and hydrology and microbiology engineering. The Albuquerque Bernalillo County Water Utility Authority has been a critical partner in this, obviously. We have the U.S. EPA providing assistance in the way of modeling, and we also have the U.S. Geological Survey providing assistance in the hydrology and hydrogeology. So we have basically the top scientists in the state of New Mexico working on this.
We set ourselves on a goal to protect the drinking water supply source for the city of Albuquerque. And once we kind of got focused on the goal is to fix that, then all of the science and all of the data that we actually had at the site was now being used for that goal.
Yeah, it's a tremendous success story involving cooperation between the Air Force, the state, the city and the county, and the neighborhoods.
Going forward, we're going to be focusing on growing that treatment system as the data drives it, and pursuing the reporting and developing the final remedy that the public then has a role of commenting on. They even have the ability to ask for a hearing if they want. And then going forward, putting that remedy in place and operating it until that plume is gone. You know, it's pulled back at least onto base property, that we meet drinking water standards, off base, on base, that we've cleaned up the source area, and that all the users are safe.